What if I told you that a coin you've used to buy coffee, groceries, or maybe even dropped under your couch cushions could be far more valuable than 25 cents? Today, we are going deep coins in everyday American history, the 2001 Liberty Quarter Dollar. It's a coin packed with pride, mystery, myths, and real value when the condition and sell in, because you're about to learn the truth behind the myths and how some of these coins have shocked the world at auction. Let's start with the basics. In 2001, the United States Mint was in the midst of the 50-state quarters program, a bold initiative that honored each state with a unique design on the quarters reverse. These coins captured local pride and history and got millions of Americans hooked on coin collecting. That year, several states were featured. In New York, showing the Statue of Liberty and the words Gateway to Freedom. In North Carolina, with the Wright brothers plane. A Rhode Island, highlighting a sailboat. A Vermont, with the famous cow's head. A Kentucky, honoring its horse racing legacy. Each of these quarters was a Washington quarter, meaning the familiar portrait of George Washington still appeared on the obverse front. What connected them all wasn't just metal, it was a story about America itself. Millions of these coins were minted, so many that most ended up circulating in everyday change. But from that sea of ordinary coins emerged whispers, rumors, and, yes, some extraordinary era coins that now fascinate collectors. Over the years, collectors and casual coin finders have spread stories about the 2001 quarter, some true, some not quite. Let's break down the most common myths. Myth number 1. This coin is rare and worth thousands each. It's a common belief that every 2001 quarter is rare and valuable. But the truth is, the vast majority are only worth their face value, 25 cents, unless there's something unusual about them. Why? Because millions were stamped and released, so normal specimens are abundant. Still, even common coins tell a story of American culture, circulated through everyday life. Myth number 2, there's a secret design error that makes them priceless. If only. There's no single secret design variant for the 2001 series that's instantly valuable just because of its artwork. Any special story usually comes from mistakes during minting, not intentional variations in the design. However, error coins' real mint mistakes do exist, and they have driven some dramatic auction results. Those errors are rare though, and we'll get into them soon. Myth number 3, some are linked to historic events like 9/11. A myth that sometimes circulates online claims that some quarters have hidden symbolism tied to real-world events. These theories are purely internet lore and not based on any official mint connection or design intent. Such stories are fun, but they're just that, stories. Before we talk about specific rare examples, we need to understand what makes a coin valuable. 1. Condition. Grade. Coins are graded on a scale from about poor to perfect mint state 70. The closer a coin is to flawless, the more valuable it is. Grades are assigned by professional services like PCGS and NGC, and even a single point can change value drastically. 2. Errors and varieties. Coins mistakenly struck with die defects, missing elements, off-center strikes, or other irregularities can be rare and collectible. These aren't intentional designs, they are mistakes that slip through quality control. 3. Circulation versus mint state. A coin fresh from the mint and untouched by wear is always more desirable to collectors than one that's been jostling in pocket change for years. 4. Market demand. Even rare coins need buyers willing to pay high prices at auction, and that demand can shift with trends in the coin collecting world. Now for the exciting part, real era coins and what they've sold for. These are not ordinary quarters, but when you find one, it can be like discovering buried treasure. Example number 1. Missing clad layer error. In 2015, a 2001p quarter with a partial missing clad layer, where part of the metal layer didn't form properly, sold on eBay for about $880. That's remarkable because it shows that even a subtle mint error can significantly exceed face value, especially if the coin is well preserved. Example number 2. Folded overstrike error. Another dramatic example is a coin that was struck poorly and partly folded during minting, an error called a folded overstrike. Heritage Auctions reported a 2001p quarter graded MS68 with this condition selling for around $1,350. Imagine this. A coin that looks warped and chaotic might be worth many times more simply because it's a mistake the mint rarely lets slip through. Example number 3. Dropped letter error. Collectors also value coins where letters or elements of the design are missing or unusually spaced, known as a dropped letter error. A 2001 quarter with such an error sold for approximately $1,070 at auction, proof that well-graded mistakes hold real value. You may have heard stories online about coins selling for huge amounts, tens of thousands, because of evil mule errors, mashups, or misprints. Let's clear the air. A mule error is when a coin is struck with mismatched dies, for example, using the obverse die of one denomination and the reverse of another. These are extremely rare and often command massive prices in auctions. While several mule coins from other years, like Lincoln pennies or Sacagawea quarter mashups, have fetched tens of thousands of dollars or more, there is no widely documented 2001 quarter mule error from the US Mint that routinely sells for massive multi-thousand-dollar figures. The blockbuster sales you might see online are usually different denominations or pieces struck on wrong planchets, not standard 2001 quarters. That said, there are error coins out there with dramatic auction histories, but they are verified individually, and most everyday 2001 quarters will never reach those prices. So, how much is a 2001 quarter actually worth today? Banknote with $ ordinary circulated coin. If you found a 2001 quarter in your pocket or change jar, and it looks normal with wear, its value is usually face value, 25 cents, or slightly above for collectors. Uncirculated mint state coin, MS60, MS67. Coins that have never been used can trade for a few dollars, generally between $1 and $40 depending on grade. High-grade certified examples. A perfectly graded coin, like MS68 or MS69, can go for hundreds or even over $1,000, especially if certified by PCGS or NGC. In rare documented cases, exceptional MS69 coins have sold for over $2,500 or more. Error coin examples. As we saw, error coins like missing layers or folded strikes have auction records in the hundreds to low thousands, more if the error is dramatic and the coin is high grade. If you want to know whether your own quarters might be worth more than pocket change, here's how to start. 1. Look for oddities. Check for missing design elements, unusual spacing, warped metal, strange shapes, or letters that look off. 2. Note the mint mark. Some mint marks, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and certain mints occasionally produce more errors than others. 3. Check the edges. Off-center strikes or incomplete edges can be error indicators. 4. Condition matters. Look for wear. The less wear, the more collectors may pay. 5. Get a professional opinion. If you think your coin might be valuable, have it examined by a grading service or a reputable coin dealer. Coins like the 2001 quarter remind us of something bigger than their metal value. They are tangible pieces of history. They commemorate states and achievements. They connect us to the broader American story. They teach us about minting technology, error classification, and rarity. And they bring together a community of collectors, historians, and everyday treasure hunters. The 50-state quarters program also sparked a hobby that brought millions of Americans, young and old, into coin collecting for the first time. Let's imagine walking through a coin auction hall. Rows of collectors clutching catalogs, the click-clack of gavels, that moment when a rare coin comes up for bid, and the room holds its breath. Auction rooms have witnessed unexpected moments. A barely believed error coin fetching a 4-figure price. A high-grade MS69 specimen bringing in collectors from around the world. And novices learning that every coin has a story, and sometimes, just sometimes, real treasure. So what's the final word on the 2001 Liberty quarter dollar? Most are worth just 25 cents. Some are worth a few dollars if uncirculated or certified. A few rare error pieces have fetched hundreds or low thousands at auction. But more than the numbers, this coin represents a piece of American life. It's a reminder that history can be in your pocket. You never know. Your next quarter might just be worth more than you think. If you enjoyed exploring the truth behind the 2001 quarter myths, hit that like button. Subscribe for more coin stories. And let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in your pocket. Until next time, keep looking, keep collecting, and keep uncovering the hidden stories behind the coins we use every day. Tiny coin. Just 25 cents. But what if I told you this unassuming piece of metal might be hiding a jackpot? Today we are diving deep into one of the most Misunderstood coins from the early 21st century. The 2005 State Quarter, often casually called a Liberty Quarter. You'll learn the real history, the biggest myths, and how some versions have shocked collectors at auctions around the world. The 2005 quarter was issued at a time when the United States was celebrating the history and diversity of its states. Unlike older silver quarters, these coins are modern circulating quarters, minted for everyday use, and most simply passed from pocket to pocket without much thought. The 50-state quarters program ran from 1999 to 2008. Each year, several state designs were released. 2005 featured a California, a Minnesota, a Oregon, a West Virginia, a Kansas. These designs celebrated each state's unique culture and history. Yosemite in California, the Mississippi River in Minnesota, Crater Lake in Oregon, the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia, and the buffalo on the Kansas design. But here's the key point. Most 2005 quarters are still only worth their face value, 25 cents. You've probably seen headlines like, "Check your pockets, this coin could be worth thousands." Or, "Rare 2005 quarter sells for big money at auction." These stories sound exciting, but we need to separate the myths from reality. This is perhaps the biggest misunderstanding. The truth is, the vast majority of 2005 quarters are worth exactly what they say on the coin, 25 cents, unless a coin has something unusual about it, like an error or rare grading. It likely won't fetch more than face value. So what does make certain 2005 quarters valuable? Coins are machines' artworks, and where machines make art, mistakes happen. Error coins occur because of glitches during the minting process, and collectors love them. Let's explore the most interesting ones. One of the wilder error stories from 2005 came from the Kansas State Quarter. Some coins show the motto, "In God We Trust," altered on the planchette, creating an anomaly that reads somewhat like "In God We Rust." These strike through. Grease errors and weak strikes occur when grease or debris interferes during minting. Collectors find these quirky and sometimes pay a small premium. Even so, most of these error coins sell for a few dollars to a few hundred, not thousands. Coins are layers of metal pressed together. If that layer fails to bond properly, you can end up with a missing clad layer coin. These can be fascinating because part of the metal layer peels away, something most collectors love. Some 2005 Minnesota quarters with these flaws have sold for a few $100s. This occurs when the die impression shifts slightly, creating doubled or distorted elements on the design. These have modest collector interest, often selling from $10 up to low hundreds of dollars depending on eye, appeal and grade. Most coins we handle every day are worn, scratched, dented, so their value stays at face. But coin grading, done by experts at PCGS, NGC, and similar firms, tells us how perfect a coin is. Here's the deal. MS60, MS63, common uncirculated condition. MS64, MS66, nicer uncirculated coins. MS67, MS68, extremely high quality. MS69, MS70, near perfect or perfect examples. For 2005 quarters, grading makes all the difference. According to market data, a 2005 quarter in top mint state, MS68, can fetch hundreds, even a few $1,000s depending on the state and demand. For example, a Kansas quarter graded MS68 has been listed in the $3,000 range. So the same design can be 25 cents in your pocket, or a collector's prized piece if it's near perfect and certified. Let's address the big question. Are 2005 quarters selling for crazy amounts at auction? The short answer, only in very specific cases, and almost always when they're error coins in high grades. While dramatic headlines might talk about coins selling for thousands, those are extremely rare scenarios. For perspective, a most certified 2005 state quarters in high grades sell in the hundreds to low thousands range. Are ordinary circulated coins still worth just 25 cents? Compare that to older historic quarters, such as an 1871 seeded Liberty quarter that reached hundreds of Thousands because of its rarity and age. Different era, different market. Social media, coin influencers, clickbait headlines. They all drive one story. Every quarter could be your ticket to thousands. But let's keep it real. And many people look at a 2005 station quarter and think it must be rare because online videos highlight rare exceptions. Not the rule. Our auction houses sometimes list high-graded coins with elevated estimates, and that's your potential maximum, not the average sell-through price. Reality check. The odds of finding a coin worth more than face value are tiny unless you know what to look for. Here are real steps if you want to examine your own 2005 quarter. Step 1. Look at the mint mark. A P equals Philadelphia. A D equals Denver. S equals San Francisco proof. Step 2. Check for errors. A missing metal layer. A struck through grease. A doubled lettering. A off-center strike. Step 3. Condition matters. Is the coin scratched? Is it shiny? Does it have strong relief? Step 4. Consider professional grading. If you believe you have something special, especially if the coin is in near mint condition, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC. Let's summarize the truth versus the hype. Fact. A typical 2005 quarter is worth 25 cents. Fact. Certain error coins and high-grade quarters can be valuable, sometimes significantly. Fact. Most of the coins people find in pocket change are not worth thousands. But, fact, finding a rare variety or a coin graded MS67 Plus can be very exciting and worthwhile. This is why collectors obsess over them. Not because every coin is valuable, then something rare slips through. Coins tell stories of history, of art, of the people and places they represent. The 2005 quarters may not be the rarest in all of numismatics, but they capture a moment in America's collective identity. From Yosemite's towering cliffs to Kansas' rolling plains, these coins were meant to connect us to the story of a nation. And if you do find one that's truly rare, it might just be worth more than pocket change.